All right, guys, we'll take that win. It was kind of one of those games. I'm really having mixed emotions about this game. I'm glad we won it. A win is a win, but we could have scored a lot more points. What scares me going into the playoffs now that we got the NFC East in the bag, what scares me is going into the playoffs with this team. A lot of you probably, oh, we won. What are you talking about? Well, it was an ugly win. Penalties will beat you faster than the next team, than the team that you're playing against. I repeat, penalties will beat you faster than the team that you're playing against because we had so many penalties. And every week we always say, well, we need to work on this. We need to work on penalties. We need to work on, but it's almost too late. This is the team that we're taking into the playoffs. Now, what they do in the playoffs, I don't know. It's a mystery. They could step it up and no penalties or whatever and just be all world, but that's to be determined. I'm not really sold on this team yet. I'm a little confident because we won and we won the NFC East, but this season has been like this, and y'all know that. It's been like this. It's been on a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. I'm not comfortable with, most importantly, the coaching staff, Linehan. I'm not comfortable with him. The defense has been kind of exposed ever since the Colts game. It seems like the defense has been a little exposed too. They're having a hard time stopping the three-step drop and et cetera. But before I get to the defense, let me finish on the offense. First of all, coaching. Linehan, he has to go. We all know that. We say that every week. We've said that for years. We can't take that type of play calling into the postseason. Maybe he's saving a lot of plays. I don't know, but I've said that so many times, so many years. I just can't go off of that. Playoffs is a different type of game. We really have to be on our P's and Q's. You have to be almost perfect in the playoffs. Like seriously, in order to win, go to the Super Bowl, go to the dance, you have to be almost perfect, and we're not. We're far from it. Play calling and Linehan's coaching, his philosophy, has really handicapped this team. The players have been outplaying the coachings, and that's Zeke, Dak at times. Offensive line has been beat up. Dak holds the ball way too long. You can't do that in the playoffs. Holding the ball too long can create so many negative things like turnovers, fumbles, interceptions, loss of yardage, taking sacks, getting injured taking sacks. You can't do that. I'm telling you now. And y'all might think, oh, stop overreacting. Calm down, 1980. What are you talking about? These are just things I've been watching the game for years, for over 3 decades. And I've seen so much. I have so much experience in playing on different levels and watching on different levels as well. And it's a different, playoffs is a different type of game. It's a different type of beast. We have to really, really leave all these negative things, penalties, injuries, things like that at home. Tyrone Crawford, God bless him. I hope he's okay. They didn't give us an update all game about this guy. He's been a workhorse for the defense. So the way it looked, we might not see him again this year. But who knows, He gave us a thumbs up on the way out. So, but, God bless him and his family. Hope everything's okay. Hopefully a speedy recovery on Tyrone Crawford, guys. Defense got still fundamentals, man. Still got to work on fundamentals, wrapping up. Basic things, penalties, offsides, encroachment. Now that I'm pretty much done with the defense. Now, refereeing. Guys, the referees will play a game for you. They'll be the deciding factor, especially how sissy the calls are now. They are the deciding factor of a lot of games. Tampa Bay shouldn't have had those many points. The holding, the missed calls and holding, the face mask early in the game. Ezekiel's head was turned clearly around. Stopped them in motion pretty much. They didn't see it. Where am I? Holding wasn't called. I saw a lot of holding. Just drives that have been really, really miscalled by the referees. This is the first time I've ever heard this call in the 30 some odd years that I've been watching football, damn near 40 years. Defensive delay of game. The guy clearly flinched. The tackle clearly flinched on that play. And it should have been called a false start or delay of game. And the clock was at 0. And they call it on us because DeMarcus Lawrence was letting them know that this guy moved. He jumped off. I mean, he moved. He flinched. It's a false start. But these referees, they got to get it together. You can't depend on referees, especially in the playoffs. They're going to kill us. You can't tackle a quarterback anymore. If there's a way you can change direction while you're in the air, like Superman, then I can see a lot of calls being called. But that roughing the passer call, there was no way that was roughing the passer. It just wasn't. What was the other play? Damn it, I'm losing train of thought. Oh, the hit on Xavier Woods wasn't even helmet to helmet. It was shoulder to shoulder. And they threw a flag on that. I'm like, okay, what are you supposed to do now? How are you supposed to stop a defender? How are you supposed to play defense? They might as well give everybody flags. Give everybody flags on the field and just play flag football or 2-hand touch on the back or 5-second hold or whatever. That's what we played outside. We played football on the street, two hands on back, 5-second hold, flag, pull the sock or whatever, things like that. That's what we did as kids, when we didn't play in grass, when we didn't play tackle football, we played those type of games. And that's what they're doing. They might as well do that. The officiating is horrible, guys. Horrible on so many levels. They really need to get together and work on these calls because they're not realistic. You have to be realistic in officiating, and they're not. That's one thing they're not. That was a big thing. That obviously got Tampa Bay back in the game. Just the officiating, the bad officiating, in all. Offense, Dak Prescott. I'm gonna start with Dak. Y'all know I protect Dak to the fullest. I try to have his back because he's a Cowboy and he's transitioning in a transitional period of his career. He's young. He's still kind of making mistakes here and there. He's not at his peak yet, but there's nobody to help him get to his peak. That's the problem with this offense. They don't know how to develop players. They just don't. They're letting a lot of good players go to waste. Guys like Zeke and Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith and stuff, they're pretty much superstars. They can kind of develop on their own and outplay the coaching staff. But other guys, they kind of need a little push like Dak. As far as fundamentals on how to throw the ball, how to step into the throw, throwing accurate passes. Those are things that you need to be coached and worked on and practice, fundamentals. And he's just hasn't mastered it yet. I'm not saying he's not doing it. He just hasn't mastered it yet. And he needs somebody to put him over that hump so we can get this conversation out of Dallas Cowboy Nation's head or Dak sucks or we need a new quarterback. We need to draft a new quarterback. All that shit. So Dak's a good quarterback. He just needs to stop holding the ball so long, stop second and third guessing himself and get rid of it. And, really focus on his fundamentals going into the postseason. I don't know if it's too late for that, but they need to figure something out before we start playing in the playoffs. What else is there? Defense, offense. That's pretty much it, man. That's all I got. Just coaching, vanilla play calling. Linehan's, he just has to go. He's not going to get any better. I'm sorry I'm not just running around jumping and crawling and yelling like I normally do, but this is one of those games where it's kind of like we were supposed to win it, so I'm not surprised by anything. We should have played it better. I don't feel comfortable going into the playoffs, but it is what it is. There's no turning back now. We just got to put up or shut up, and we got to figure out a way to stop the penalties because they will beat you faster than the other team that you're playing against. But that's all I got, guys. Y'all know I have better on my part, too. I'll be able to analyze the game and go back and look at film and things like that, and et cetera. So pardon me if I missed some things, but this game was up and down. It should have been a blowout, but it wasn't. The referees kept them in the game, and our dumb, stupid, clumsy penalties kept them in the game. Cornerbacks, Cheeto and Byron Jones really have to watch a lot of film and watch themselves not making plays on the ball because they're still trying to cover and not make. You have to be a playmaker. It's a difference between being a player and a playmaker. And right now, those two are players. They're sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. They're not good at covering the three-step drop, the quick passes, the slants, and the quick outs and things like that. I made a comment earlier. Byron Jones is mostly like a 5 to 10 yard cover corner. He's not really good deep. Neither is Cheeto. They both kind of have the same style. They make plays here and there, but overall, I probably give him like a 70, 75 grade, maybe like a C plus. But they need to turn into A plus is in the playoffs. So it's just a lot of things we got to work on, man. I don't know if it's too late because the season's about over. But, guys, that's all I got, man. I enjoyed the win. Glad we won. Looking forward to the playoffs now. Looking forward to seeing who we're going against in the first round. I don't know if we have a bye week. I think we got a bye week since we won the division. I'm not sure. But I think the Eagles won. They blew out the damn Texans. Those bastards keep winning, so they might get a wild card spot. They might sneak through the back door. But we just got to keep our foot on the gas. We got New York next week. New York's we're gonna rest a lot of guys. So I still want to win that game, but we know we're gonna rest a lot of guys. A lot of guys are not gonna play. So New York's gonna try to play their hardest just for pride, out of pride, because they know they're not gonna do anything. But that's all I got, guys. Make sure y'all stay cowboyed up and prayed up, and you never know what the day is gonna bring you. Holler back at your boy. I'm out.